Hello everybody and welcome back to the Healthy Orange Movie Reviews You Asked. I'm your host, Bennett Campbell Ferguson, and this is the show where we take your movie questions and we give you the answers. So today's question comes from Allie Bull, and it's a fantastic question in my opinion. Why is Brett Ratner so terrible? Well, that is that's a more the answer to that is quite complicated. For a really kind of lowbrow mainstream filmmaker, Brett Ratner has had a really kind of strange and unusual career. He started out with a small film, Money Talks, got into the Rush Hour franchise and expanded a bit, and then pissed X-Men fans off everywhere with the horrifically bad X-Men: The Last Stand. And now he's kind of simmering out. He made Hercules this summer, which bombed, and now he's doing Beverly Hills Cop 4, so we'll see how that works out. But why is he so terrible? In my opinion, it's not because he's a bad filmmaker, because he actually is capable of making a good movie, a great movie even. One of my favorite films is actually a film that he directed called The Family Man, starring Nicolas Cage as this guy who gets a chance to see what his life would have been like if he had made different choices. And it's in the vein of Groundhog Day and It's a Wonderful Life. It's very kind of spiritual. It's a drama with some humor and magical realism, and it's actually quite visually poetic. And if you've seen most of Brett Ratner's films, imagery and visual poetry is not usually one of his strong points. So what do we make of this guy? This juxtaposition of someone who is capable of making a really beautiful, sincere film, yet mostly chooses to do super kind of low-rent, uncomplicated, trashy, sloppy movies like Rush Hour and X-Men: The Last Stand. Well, looking at that juxtaposition, I would have to say that what makes Brett Ratner so terrible is that he has talents. He has talents as a filmmaker, but he doesn't use them. He is capable of making movies that are meaningful and elegantly constructed, yet he chooses to do sloppy projects like X-Men: The Last Stand. And it's very strange to reconcile, because if you watch The Family Man, it's a very tender movie, very emotional, very sweet, really, in a very genuine way. And then you go over to The Last Stand, and it's just filled with like kind of trashy, leering, obnoxious, grotesque, sexist humor, and it's just it's kind of unbelievable, the contrast. And when you think about that, that's the trashy mainstream stuff. That's most of Brett Ratner's career. That's most of what he's done. So to answer the question, why is he so terrible? It's because he hasn't lived up to his potential. He hasn't. He has strengths as a filmmaker that he really just chooses not to use. He chooses to make movies for the lowest common denominator when he's capable of doing more. And I don't want to create the impression that he's a total hack, because there's a very interesting idea out there right now that Michael Bay, the director of the Transformers films, is an auteur, is a creator of art, because his movies are so terrible, so unabashedly corporate and ridiculous that they're an art form in and of themselves. And you could make the same argument about Brett Ratner. I mean, when you think about X-Men The Last Stand, it's a bold movie, you know? It's bold to make a film like that that is often incoherent, often so blatantly insincere, and so painful to watch, and has an ending that doesn't even make sense emotionally. I mean, that takes some bravery to just kind of ignore the rules of good filmmaking like that and do something so trashy. But I don't want to get too wrapped up in the film theory aspect of it all. I mean, try actually sitting through a movie like that. It's a painful experience. It's no fun at all. Well, that is my wrap up to the question of why Brett Ratner is so terrible. If you want to hear more answers to your questions, stay tuned. And if you have a question you'd like to ask, you can submit it a couple different ways. You can leave it in the comments section below this video. You can leave it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/thehealthyorange, or you can email me at bennettcampbellferguson@gmail.com. Once again, thanks for watching, and hope you all have a great day.